Hey, what's up? And welcome back to Ike's Jam Room. Now, if you're new to this channel, why hello there and top of the morning to you. In today's video, we're going to talk about 3 different chord shapes. These are old school cowboy chords that most of you more than likely already know. These are chords that you learned early on in your music journey. But in this video, I'm going to try to give you some very extremely little easy tricks and ways to use those 3 chords up and down the fretboard, and try to just basically raise awareness of how important it is to know your fretboard and to be able to use these chords in different ways to have different voicings for stuff that makes your music sound different and gives you a fresh outlook on what you may have been stuck in a rut with your old school chords. Now, I would highly advise you to look into the caged system even, which we're not going to really get into that much at all in this little lesson, but I want to jump right in there. The first one is the A chord, which, as you most likely know if you're watching this video, you have your your A fifth string. But with all 3 of these chords I'm going to show you today, as far as how to use them up and down the fretboard, they all have one thing in common. We're just going to accept them the way they are. And we're going to just use them wherever we want on the fretboard and know that it's going to be musical. It's going to be a chord. Now, granted, some of these open strings that you're playing down here, you're not going to be able to always do that. You might have to just play those 3. Now, a 3-note chord, you might have heard or might know that usually people would refer to that as a triad. Now, a triad is the root, the 3rd, and the 5th, but it's not necessarily always just a 3-note. Just because you have a chord that's 3 notes doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a triad. But this first one, the A, if you take that, say I slide it up 1 step, you have your B, but you still have the A shape. And then all the way up the fretboard, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The only 2 notes that are not sharp are B and E. And a fun little easy way to remember that is there will be no sharps for B and E. Now, you see, you have those 3, and say you're just your E chord. So I'm up there on the ninth fret, and you might be saying, "Yeah, well, I know you can slide them up and down, do this and that." But if you were like I was for many years, you kind of would do that with power chords and this that, but you didn't train your brain to correlate. You still, if someone said play a C chord, in your head you might be thinking C, instead of where else you could play it. Different places to play it on the fretboard. And let's go back to that A style, and say that E. You got it. So here you can hear see up here you got the full 6 string, the spectrum. Let's see, it opens up windows to lead lines and stuff, which I will put a link in the description to another video that I just did talking about how to jump into solos. And the third and most important one, I think, is talking about these chords. That's what made me want to do this video. But see, you can jump into lead stuff. See, stuff like that. But let's jump into the second one. Now you have your A. Now we're going to do the D chord, which usually you would play it like that middle finger up there and the 4 strings. Now usually when I start sliding it up and down the fretboard, I just start playing it like this, using a bar. See, if you slide it, take for instance right here on this 5th, this is an F chord. All it is that D shape though. G, and then here's the A. See, that's the cool thing about chords. You can you can play these certain shapes like the D shape, and that's basically what the caged system is. C-A-G-E-D, those 5 different chord shapes. You can play all the different chords. You know, you have an A, but you have a D shape And it took me many years to get to a point where I realized just how important it is to try to link this stuff together to be able to help unlock the fretboard more. But let's jump into this last one, and it is the F chord. Now, that's the only one so far that it has actually 4 fretted strings or notes that I've talked to so far. Now, say you slide that up and you find one step up to a G, A, and so on. But by knowing these different chords, you can really spice up songs and make stuff different as opposed to just strumming those same old cowboy chords. I cannot stress to you enough of how important it is to try to familiarize yourself with these different chords. Now, you can go up and down the fretboard and play chords all day and find, yeah, that sounds cool, man. That's this and that. But try to figure out, even if you're not even looking at an actual lesson or something, you're trying to just jam. Try to pick it out in your head. Sit there and play it somewhere and say, well, what's that one? Try to train your ear. Which that would be a B. But try to, get yourself familiar with different ways of playing chords up and down the neck. And those are just 3 that to me are some of the most simple ones to jump into and start trying to think of it that way, as look at this whole fretboard as real estate that you could be using to have different voicings for your stuff that you're playing. I don't know if you know Tim Pierce on YouTube, which you probably do if you're in these YouTube circles, but he said something in one of his videos talking about if you could just watch a lot of these pro guys and stuff on these videos, or whether you're watching a concert, if you could just pick out 1 or 2 little small things, if it's something that can stick with you and you can actually put it in your repertoire and use it, then it's valuable. That's why I'm trying to make these little videos something that is not extremely intimidating to jump into, because when you jump on YouTube, you can see that there is a gajillion different lessons, different teachers and stuff. But the little things, I'm trying to break them down into a little bit more of something that you can digest easier and actually get to using it. But let me know if you think this stuff is interesting, if you are at a level in your guitar journey that this stuff is really helping you, or if this is just stuff that is just so way beneath what you've been doing. Just let me know if you enjoy these videos in the comment section. Just give me a little feedback here. I'm very new to YouTube, so I'm just figuring out what kind of videos I do good, what kind of videos are people actually want to see and stuff. But anyways, have a nice day. See you later.